And hello, welcome to my analysis video. I know people who actually do YouTube for a full time, or had the time to do it at a timely manner, already did a video like this. But I am here. I want to put my opinions out there before I watch anybody else's. Now I've watched analysis videos of the other trailers and everything like that, and I am super geeked. I don't do this full time. I am not a Zelda analysis, even though I love the series. I know a lot about the series, but there are some people who are more qualified than I am. But I want to give my opinions on what is happening to, like, what to glean out of this trailer. So, without further ado, like everybody else says, let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna kind of comb through this and give my opinions on what things can mean in this trailer. So half the trailer is establishing shots, or a third of the trailer is just establishing shots. We got a bunch of sky islands. So here we have on the bottom right here, you can see that there is one of those Zonai machines fighting a slime. So they had their own thought process, and we know they're Zonai because, and I don't remember if anybody else pointed this out. I think Zeltic did. Where in the gameplay trailer, when Anuma destroyed one of them, one of the items you got was a Zonai core or something along those lines. Like, the word Zonai popped up. So it is 100% that, to me, that 100% confirms that these machines were built by the Zonai. So these are like the most ancient, like pre-Sheikah technology that is still also technically more advanced than what we have now. You know, the whole fantasy ancient technology stuff. Yeah, so we got that being up a slime with the club, and then we got one. So we're talking about others that are workers. You got just one that's chopping a tree. They have their own autonomy, which is amazing. Then we got Link skydiving. Now let's. So we could tell that the architecture is very Japanese inspired. I mean, we could kind of tell by the music too. Sometimes that you can hear it in the music, but looking at this is Japanese architecture, like old Japanese style houses, and especially on how that's tiered. It's like a noble Japanese mansion. I only point that out because you see that there's also a platform, which I assume one of the landing areas of, you know, the few ways you get up here, that could be a good landing area at the start of that. Also, yeah, Link's arm has a tattoo. You can see his arm being dead and shit. And here you can see it in all the other trailers too, but right here you could see he's collecting something. Now, I'm not going to get in super in-depth with, like, the background, like, the pictures, like, crop circles, essentially, and, like, what's different about the map. I'm going to kind of look at the bigger picture. Oh, Zelda music. But we do see that there are, obviously, a lot of shit going on in Hyrule. Especially talking about here, so some sort of light source. I don't know if it's some sort of trigger for another type of tower or a shrine-like system. But in this alone, we see two of them. So there's, I don't know. It could be a load of things, but they're definitely, or they could be watchtowers. We don't know. So here, like, you can see that plenty of shit has changed. There's new type of towers that I think that's what the light source is. New types of towers to unlock more map. And I believe this is, yeah. See, and there's another one right there, a fucking tower. I believe this is Honto Village, if I'm not mistaken. It looks different. There's more shit. Now this is interesting. This spot right here, where you see people like have gone out, like there has been peace. There has been peace long enough after defeating Calamity Ganon, where people are setting up shop at like at a lot of damaged areas where Guardians were taking place and stuff like that. And oh, by the way, another tower. Look at that. And I don't think we've seen these towers in other trailers. The fact that every time I pause, I see a new one. It's something to be pointed out. And it's a different type of tower. It's not the Sheikah Tower. I think it might be a Zonai Tower. We might be unlocking some big truths here. But yeah, we got some like merchant tents or just people like living on the road, and it's been long enough where they feel safe enough to do that. Not for long. We got some climbing. We got a closer look at whatever the hell that thing is from a trailer before. We got that, which is probably from an island that fell. Bam, boom. And, you know, more ruins from probably the islands going up. We do see that the castle is, like we've seen in multiple trailers before, is lifted. So, it's there. We got a bridge. Got more outlooking. Alright. Now this is the point. So yeah, so we get a lot of establishing shots in the first third. The next 66% of this trailer is balls to the wall. So, just like the castle rising, which we're going to see in the next scene, we also see these temples rising, which I assume is going to be the dungeons of the game. Whatever is rising in these areas, and which I assume they're going to be a little more traditional. And obviously the game is going to give us a reason why these exist and why we have to go through them to defeat Ganon. But I feel like this is our first shot of what the dungeons are going to be. And then shit falling from the sky. Now, back 5. This is a good shot of people freaking out and the sky is falling. But this is actually a good shot of how high the castle really is off the ground. Like, with our newfound abilities, we could get there, but I'm sure there's going to be something blocking it. I don't think it's going to be like Breath of the Wild where you could beat the game in 20 minutes or whatever. Really, it takes about an hour just to get there if you're playing it casually, if you're trying to go straight to Ganon. Speedrunners can do it in 20 minutes because speedrunners. But with our newfound abilities, we could technically go up there, but it's showing that it's high up there. Tentacles. Red Moon. Crazy hair. So now we finally got the combination of the two scenes we saw from the first trailer and the second trailer. The first trailer having just this scene where Zelda's falling. The second trailer where we actually see Link trying to reach her. Third trailer, we get both of them combined. I don't know if that means anything. I feel like this is probably going to be a part of the dungeon, or, again, just more terraforming from what Ganon did, or Ganondorf did. And we see another Zonai-esque or ancient drawing here. Calligraphy, or whatever you want to call it. So these are going to be laid around the map. I don't know if it's just going to be hints towards lore, or if they're going to actually have a in-game function, or even like hints to the next temple or what to do with the temple. But now, I don't know what's going to cause them. Like, I don't know how Sky Islands is going to also cause Zonai pictures to pop up. But we have seen a couple instances of this happening on the map. Costumes are back. We see that we are probably inside the volcano of Death Mountain. This is probably the dungeon for that. And we see that we have that fire resistant, actually being on fire resistant armor on, and he's wearing metal. So all that is still intact. We're still going to be able to wear what we want, it seems like. Even though there is showing like a clear distinction between, pre-damage Link and post-damage Link, even in the trailers themselves. A fucking sky ship. So that's going to be awesome. I don't know if we're going to be fighting ancient sky pirates, or if this is also going to be part of a dungeon. Also, we don't know, like, we're getting shown a lot happening before Link gets that costume change and after. Like, we all assumed that, he gets, Link and Zelda going through the catacombs is like the very beginning of the game. But that could be, we could have a little intro section that isn't that. Now, it probably is the very beginning of the game. That's probably the very first cutscene, right? But if it's not, and Link is actually doing a bunch of other shit before that, that's just conjecture. And that one is like a stretch. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the first cutscene, but just saying. Cool gravity mechanics with water, and we're going to see another one where the air is light too. Being able to, so this is obviously like jumping from bubble to bubble type mechanic here. I'm going to be pausing a lot at this because it cuts over and over again. It's kind of nuts. But a little water mechanic in what looks like to be one of the Sky Islands, so there is definitely a risk of falling. A fucking Mission Impossible section with a suit that works like a paraglider itself, I'm gonna assume, because why would they show it off here as well? So we might have a costume that also works as like paraglider, like that allows you to glide, maybe without needing to use like it has like crap for armor, but you don't have to glide with using stamina. It's like a forever glide, maybe. Another puzzle. We just went through a bunch of things there. You got another puzzle, which is inside the ball thing that we're gonna see later. It looks like. I don't know if this is like a telescope or what. And then it looks like we're just going through another Zonai maze here. All right, whatever the fuck Link's doing in this shot, he's raising up a staff he's using, and he's spinning it constantly to like get to hit things. Also, like residents, farmers are fighting here. Like people who just hirelings are fighting. It's not just you out there fighting. Maybe one or two people out there. We're doing like this is a war we're going through. This Dragonborn looking motherfucker. It kind of looks mummified to me. It looks like a mutated dragon mummified Sheikah looking, because you can tell by the hair, like it has like a Pyra's hairstyle, right? Like it has that Breath of the Wild Sheikah hairstyle. But the cuffs, like the stuff on the like that bracelet thing that is in her, I assume it's a her. It looks like a her. Even like with the eyes, you could tell like because how art is, there are feminine drawings and there's masculine drawings, and how this person is displayed as, they seem feminine, so I'm saying woman. But it looks like her is they're more Zonai looking. than Sheikah looking, but they can be one and the same. They're almost interchangeable. There are minute differences that I'm sure other Zelda lore people know more than I do, but this person is definitely related to the Sheikah tribe in some way, shape, or form. And they look like a Dragonborn. Zonai technology, gonna be a boss. I think it's Sky Island dungeons or the temples we're gonna go through might have these types of bosses, or this might be a test from the Zonai, like in Wind Waker. So yeah, so we got Lincoln now in the classic garb, but he's also covering his everything. So what I'm thinking is that the tattered and torn look is going to be right after the first scene where everything just goes straight to hell. And then the first quest is going to be to fix the Master Sword. The second quest is going to be something related, or like that's going to be like the first act, right? Like the spiritual stones or the fused masks, like that part of the game. You know what I'm talking about? That's going to be repairing the Master Sword with the Skyline and stuff, right? And then the rest of the game is going to be going through the temples to either gather the tears or empower the tears. Because later on, we actually finally see the tears of the kingdom, they're actual feasible things. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so the second part is going to be about the war that ensues and you going to the rest of the temples that you need to go to in order to empower the tears in order to defeat Ganondorf. So the costume changes are you're going to be access to be able to wear more armor after the first bit of the game. So him looking rather tattered and torn isn't going to last the entire game.
Zelda, we rely on your knight and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
So that voice also sounded like Matt Mercer to me. It has been confirmed that everybody fucking knew it because especially for those who watch Critical Role, it's Matt Mercer as Ganondorf. This voice also sounded like Matt Mercer to me, a calm Matt Mercer. So he only said that he had the okay to say that he's Ganondorf. What if there's two Ganondorfs? This is a wild theory, and this might not be the voice actor for. This might not be Matt Mercer, but it sounds like him. So if I'm true, if I am right on this is also a Matt Mercer voice. If not, then I'm sure I'm wrong. It's just somebody that sounds really close to him, which is probably the case. But what if there's two Ganondorfs? What if there is an alternate person who's related to Ganondorf, and this is that person? This person obviously has all the Zonai garb, right? And this person also might be the person who gave Link the powers, or who might have been, holding Ganondorf in place. It might be the low rule version of Ganondorf type thing. I could be wrong, and this could be a totally different voice actor. But that's a theory that I have, that there's either a good Ganondorf or Ganondorf is trying to manipulate Zelda. But I feel like this might be an alternate version, actually. This is I want to say this is still a technically different character. This is not the same Ganondorf, but it might be somebody who is related to that lineage. Or I'm just completely off.
Link.
It's long. You got the bird thing, got Sky Islands, another tower that we would have to search. You got death circles. This fucking thing. So we were described the fuse mechanic. So he's using a two-handed weapon, and was able to fuse a shield to it. So now you could block with a two-handed weapon if you fuse a shield to said weapon. The possibilities are endless. There's that ball thing that we saw earlier when Link was doing the cog. It looked like what he was doing there was the inside of this. I don't know how important this is, or we just happen to get two scenes with it. Like, if it's some sort of telescope or something that unlocks, like, a new temple, like, it, brings down a beam that opens a new temple. Like all the temples are not accessible right away. You have to go to the Sky Islands, do this, unlock a temple. Again, that's just speculation. That's just a random thought I just had. But these seem to be one and the same. It might just be a coincidence that two things are two separate clips that happen to be the same thing. Whatever the fuck that was. This is definitely, again, the Death Mountain area. That thing is just fast, and you gotta dodge it. It's gonna kill you. Alright, so going back 5. So, obviously, trampoline, we're going high. People know who this is. It's not the person that I would have thought would have been the champion from the first game. From the Breath of the Wild. The descendant of Rivali. This is a different Rito that I don't know the name, but it is a different Rito than I was expecting there to be the new champion. So, but people know this Rito, it seems like. I didn't pay attention, I guess, enough. But new champion with Link. I don't. Okay, so Link has a horse, and he made a carriage for these people. There might be missions, or not even just missions, just getting extra loot for helping people to just transport people. But you have to build something in order to transport, because you can tell this is a fused item because it has all the fucking flex glue on it. Yeah, I don't know why. It's probably just a side mission. It looks like a cool shot, and it kind of displays like, hey, you could really just make anything. Using reverse to attack. A goddamn rocket. Zonai technology is super advanced, and we're probably going to steal all of it. Low gravity jumping, like I was saying before. We're fighting a Zonai machine in Death Mountain on two separate carts. This is just a badass scene. You making like a Little Big Planet looking mech. I say that because of how it moves, because you just you play this together, and then it has weapons, and you're fighting a stone talus that has McGoblins on it. Like, this game's insane. Amber makes fire arrows. Confirmed. Another tower. Pointing it out. I see it. Horse has armor. I don't really use horses a lot because I like to go on weird terrain a lot. I don't know. I don't want to endanger my horses. But yeah, so Amber makes fire arrows. Confirmed. I guess there's a defense mechanism that we could mess with, and it just annihilates. Holy shit, this thing. This has to be like one of the temple's bosses, which I assume we go through each temple with each of the new champions. Assuming. And this is just one of the bosses, which looks nuts. I got no theory on what this boss could be outside of it just being an insane boss, but this is one hell of a shot.
I know why I am here.
Zelda.
It's something.
Tear. This is a close up of the tier. I know I've seen in TikTok already somebody was able to produce one, edit one, where we see that multiple characters already have tiers, and we all are already connecting them to the medallions from Ocarina of Time. And there are different colors. Ganon has one, Link has one, Zelda has one, and 2 of the champions have one. So that's 3, 4, 5. I think there was a 6th one somebody said, and we just haven't found the 7th one. Or there might have been only 5 that we caught. Either way, Tears of the Kingdom. That's what the title is about.
Only I can
That
do.
thing right there.
Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth
Matt
of
Mercer.
his new world.
I haven't paused on this look yet, like up close. This is a frame where people say like he's using a tier. Also, that scream Matt Mercer gives is perfect. Like it sounds like whoever voiced him in Smash back 5.
Revival and the birth of his new world.
So good. Malice Monster, insane.
Okay, let's go!
Okay. Quick scene of a new character
Okay, let's go!
who's pivotal, also has a tier, is wearing the same garb as Zelda was. So this is probably somebody who is related to either the goddess Hylia or who knows something about the tiers or are the actual Zonai. Like she might actually be a Zonai. So we're not just going to be running to the machines. We might actually be running to the actual ancestors of the Sheikah, which essentially we're like talking about the like Oris Boris thing for the title. Like we are at the end of the timeline and we are interacting with things that started at the beginning of the timeline, pre Skyward Sword. It's nuts. I forgot the character's name. It's a descendant of Urbosa. Dual wielding. So she's part of the game. So she's the next another champion. All right. So we got a bunch of random people here. We got some Hylians. We got a Goron. We have a Gerudo. So we're gonna be able to get factions, right? Like we're gonna get companions. We're gonna have to build up an army, and we're gonna have to fight. I don't think this is. There are a couple people who, like, again, it's wild speculation that said this could be multiplayer. Why would somebody put a bucket on their head if it wasn't if they're trying to be funny? But obviously this is a Nintendo trailer. If this game had multiplayer, they would have made a way bigger deal of it than just tossing it a thought in the trailer. And somebody would have found out about it real quick. I feel like it's going to be like an Assassin's Creed Brotherhood thing, where you're just going to get factions and you're going to build an Hyrulean army to fight the army of Ganon, which is epic.
But you are not.
Oh, wait. I need to go back 5.
But
I just want to see this. Link has a Riptide, and it looks like Zonai weaponry. I just noticed that. This is my third time watching this trailer, and I don't know what that sword is. It probably is just a random sword, but yeah, it's like a dragon scale Zonai Riptide looking thing.
you
I just
are
want to point
not
that
alone.
out. You're fighting with Sidon. You're not just riding on his back and he's throwing you at an elephant. You're actually fighting with the champions and other Hyruleans, presumably. That's nuts. That's crazy. That's cool. So, I like the fact that this is a thing that you're going to be able to use them as companions. And I don't know if it's going to be like per temple, like what I was talking about earlier, like with the Rita and like the boss with her. Maybe he has his own temple, and instead of you going through the like divine beasts or whatever, you go through the temple with each champion, and they help you out throughout the temple, kind of like the two temples in Wind Waker, when you have Medley and the Korok. Yeah, that might be the thing, or you might just be able to recruit anybody at any time.
Link.
Fucking three-headed dragon. This is probably what everybody thought of when they first played the very original, the very first Zelda. Finally realized in full 3D, full scale, of what Link in the original Zelda was probably looking at, or something close to it. I like the fact that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are bringing back new versions of old mobs that we haven't seen in forever, but like revamped. I think it's cool.
You are our final hope.
Why is Zelda holding the Master Sword? Does she have it before we get it back? I'm honestly lost on this one. I can't think of a reason why she would be having the Master Sword instead of Link in this section, unless if she's part of the reason why it gets back to full health and we give it to her. But also part of this entire adventure is trying to find her again. But she's also helping you. She might be just helping with the war effort once we find her again. She's not dead, so we got that part cleared. I just don't know. Like, there's so many reasons, but also I can't think of any good one of why she's holding the Master Sword outside of she's the one who brings it back to life after it getting corrupted. Bam! Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, bam. For the Nintendo Switch. Oh, bam.
Link. You must find me.
So, first of all, May 12th, 23. Fucking excited. Her saying that, I don't know if that is part of Endgame, or, again, like what I was saying, part of the first half of the game is you trying to find her. The second half is, like, the war that ensues, apparently. Because this might actually be finally like a full-scale battle. It's not just going to be Link against a bunch of mobs going to dungeons and fighting Ganon. This might actually be a full blown out war, and that's fucking awesome. So there's my thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom trailer, the final trailer before we get our hands on the game. I hope people like my thoughts, or if you hate them, whatever. It's just what my brain was spewing as I'm watching it, as I'm pausing through. I didn't do any prior research. It's just recollection of what I've seen in other videos and what I know of the Zelda universe personally. This game is obviously heavily focusing on not only like the revival of Ganondorf, but the Zonai. The Zonai, what people have just been talking about in passing, even in Zelda universe. We only get we know nothing of the Zonai outside of conjecture and the slight hints that we get from like Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. Which I think the Majora's Mask connection to Zonai is a retroactive thing. I don't think they thought about that when they were making Majora's Mask. But the fact that, like, we've been talking about the Zonai for so long, and, like, the type of letters and the type of things that we've been seeing, and it's like, oh, man, they're even more ancient than the Sheikah, and the Sheikah are actually based off the Zonai, da-da-da-da. And now we get a game that's focused on it amongst everything else that's happening, too. It's nuts. It's nuts. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. If you like this video, give it a good little thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. I do more Twitch streaming than I do videos on here, but who knows? I'm trying to get more content out there on all platforms. But with that said, till next time. Bye.